Hey guys, it's Marie Antoinette here, Soul Activation Mentor, here for your Mental Health Monday. And I'm really keen to share some of this information I'm going to share with you this evening. But before I keep going, I'm going to see if we can get some more people jumping on live so that you can hear some of the questions, or I can answer some of the questions that people may have as I start. So welcome, Naina. I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly. I always see your name on my threads, but I've never actually said it. So welcome, Naina. I'm just waiting for a few more people to jump on board. Hi, Chris. How you going? I'm glad that you've joined for this live tonight. I'm going to be talking about using a well-known spiritual saying to actually help you reduce anxiety. So I'm really keen to get that subject going. So I'm just going to wait for a few more people. Hey, Ness. Good to see you. Hey, Scott. I'm glad you've been able to join tonight. I'm going to get started in a few moments. Just waiting for a few more people to jump on board if they want to jump on. Hi, Chris. Glad you're saying hi. So for the people who have joined tonight, I'm talking about a well-known spiritual saying that we can kind of take advantage of, in a sense, to be able to reduce anxiety. Hey, Ness. So, look, I'm going to start going because you guys have jumped on board and you seem pretty keen. How I know that is I'm just tuning into your energy. So, I'll just get started. So, what I'm talking about tonight is this saying, and I'm sure you've all heard it. It's a very common saying, and the saying is this, that everything happens for a reason. So, a lot of people use that saying quite flippantly, and some people may joke about it and go, I wonder what the reason is for this. And often we don't find the reason until we look back in time, and in hindsight we go, oh, so that's what that reason is about. So, for example, you may be running late to something, or so there's an unexpected delay, or something may happen where you're meant to be going somewhere and you become suddenly sick, or you have a falling out with a friend, or you have some feelings come up that you don't quite understand, and there's an interaction with someone or something that seems to trigger you into something. Now, hi Narelle, glad you've joined us. So what I want to talk about is this, and I'm going to use an example of the 9/11 attacks. Not sure if people are familiar with some of the stories that came out of survivors of those attacks. So, for example, there were stories that came out of a gentleman whose daughter was having problems tying up her shoelaces, and it made him terribly late, and it turned out that he missed his train on his way to work, and therefore he wasn't in the towers, and therefore managed to save his life was spared. There were many stories that came out of that tragedy, and it was all about people who suddenly were late for some particular reason. They'd had an argument with someone. There was another story where there was an actual argument on a train, and the person got off the train out of frustration. And at all those events, in hindsight, when they realised that what had happened, they realised they were actually in the right place at the right time. Now, I'm going to talk briefly a little bit about divine timing. So, there is actually an intelligent design in our universe, and although we like to think we're in control of everything that happens, it certainly isn't the case. So, there's a thing called destiny, and there are things that are happening all the time where we're being supported and assisted in a way by higher forces in some situations. So often what may happen is that if you develop this perspective of this attitude, rather than being a flippant saying that people say, if you actually look for a reason or trust that there is a higher reason for things not going your way, then you can reduce anxiety by actually accepting what's happening at the moment as divine timing, and that you may not be able to see the reason for it in this present moment, but trusting in the fact that everything will be okay. I'm going to give an example. Hey Marin, thank you for joining. Hey Ross. I'm going to give you an example of a delay in a session that I had today with a client, and if she's watching, she'll probably have a bit of a chuckle. But we had been discussing, or she had brought up the fact that there was something about the timing in our session that we had planned, and it had been put back or changed, and there were some things going on with this particular session. And I suggested to her that maybe there was a lesson in this for her around trust. And, we had the session booked in today, and I had some unexpected traffic. And so I couldn't get back in time to start the session on time. I could have panicked. I could have gone, oh, no, this is really unprofessional that I'm not on time, or this is really not okay. But what I trusted in was that it was all happening for a reason, that there was a particular lesson that maybe was being presented for my client. And I gave her a call at the appointment time that we had, and we discussed this notion about everything happening for a reason. And often people have said to me, I have the patience of a saint, or I'm really calm under stressful matters when it comes to timing. And that's because I have developed this particular, it's a living by this saying. It's not just a saying that we can flippantly say. It's actually a very ancient, comes from ancient wisdom around just trusting in divine timing and trusting that everything will come. Another example might be is that you become sick before an event or something like that, and you miss the event. You may not ever particularly find out why you're not meant to be at that event, or you may find out that the event wasn't as good as what you thought it was going to be, and it was going to be a waste of money. It might be because there was somebody there that you were not wanting to see. So there's a couple of other notions in that. But if we're fully trusting that we're being looked after, and that there is a divine time and order, and you're always in the right place at the right time for your highest good, then you can rest assured when things aren't going your way that things will be okay, and that whatever way things are going to unfold, or letting go of the outcome is really, really important. And by doing that, you can reduce anxiety and not stress and give yourself a hard time about things, and just go with the flow. People talk about it being what we call a universal flow, and this is one of those sayings that we can use to be in the universal flow of things. Hi Luke, glad you've joined. Hi Rennie. So I'm talking about using that saying, everything happens for a reason, to your advantage, to lower anxiety, and to be able to trust in divine timing, and know that there is always a supportive, intelligent design of this universe that supports us. So I'll give you another quick example before I jump off. But one of the other examples, hi Pete, one of the other examples would be, I'll give an example where I did find out the outcome of a situation, but it was a similar example to what I said before, and it was an event that I was going to attend, and I became quite ill, quite suddenly. In fact, it was when I was walking out the door, and I actually had this overwhelming nausea feeling, a lack of energy in my body, and I had this intuitive feeling that I shouldn't go. Now, there was not only did I find out that the event was not cracked up to what it was supposed to be, but there was a pretty bad accident on the road that I was going to take, and there was some fatalities on that road. And I'm not sure, but, I was going to be travelling on that road at that time, and I could possibly have been in that accident if I had actually left the house and attended that event. So one of the great things that you can do is actually track some of these synchronicities. And so if you feel like you weren't in the place or time that you thought you should be, but then, if you find out some information to show you, well, hey, that was a good thing that I didn't go, track it in a journal somewhere, and start noticing those things so that you can develop that ease and grace, or that feeling of ease and grace when things aren't going the way that you've planned. because then you can trust in the divine intelligence of this universe. So I'm not going to go for too much longer because I'm actually got a low battery, so it looks like my phone is going to switch off very soon. I probably should have charged it. Hi Rama, hi Emma, hi Makeda. Good to see you. You've reminded me I need to contact you. Alright, so I'm just going to finish on that. If you want to learn anything more about my programs or join my mailing list about anything else I do, please contact me. And if you want to know about the content of this and you've just jumped on, have a look at it from the beginning. Hopefully there'll be some pearls of wisdom there that you'll be able to start living by and start living in a way of grace and ease when it comes to divine timing. Hi Heidi, thanks for joining. I'm just finishing up, so you're going to have to go back and watch it from the beginning. But yeah, so that's my Mental Health Monday for this evening. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, and feel free to like, comment or share this video if you think that people are going to find some kind of benefit in it. I'd like to get this information out to as much people as possible. So thanks for tuning in this Monday, and happy Mental Health Monday. Bye.